So as many of you know, because you've heard me before, I really like thought-provoking questions. I like to ask the questions that get people to think about their lives and what they're doing and why they do the things that they do and all of that. And they're good questions that, you know, they can be kind of a downer at times. And people sometimes are just like, just stop. You know, can't we just enjoy the day? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. Well, a couple of months ago, I told myself it was time to lighten up. And so I thought, what should I talk about then if it's time to lighten up? I thought, well, let's talk about gratitude. Because I have another friend in Asheville who's all about gratitude and everything. She's grateful for everything. Grateful, grateful, grateful. And sometimes I read her little blog online and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I love her, I do. And when I spend time with her, she makes me happy. But there are other times that I'm just like that. And so it's not, I really don't like the term either, the attitude of gratitude. I don't. It feels cheap to me. It feels like a catchphrase that contains a little bit of shame because I'm not happy or I'm not grateful for everything in my life. And it's one of those things, I'm not grateful soon enough. I should have an attitude of gratitude. And then when those alternative life circumstances happen, and I have to struggle, or there's another feeling going on, and someone over here is like, well, you know, good things happen in this life. I don't care. I really don't like it when someone feels the need to point out to me that I'm not grateful enough or quickly enough, because I have my own process. I know both sides of life. I know there's a good side of life. I know that there's a grateful, harmonious, ongoing side of life. And I also know that sometimes there are sides of life where I struggle to get out of bed in the morning. Or sometimes I'm walking down the street and someone bumps into me and they spill my coffee and everything comes out of me, comes spilling out. We've had that metaphor here before. It's not just the coffee, it's everything inside me. And so just because I don't want to be grateful doesn't mean I'm wallowing in self-pity. It doesn't mean that I'm not a happy woman. It just means that in this moment, right now, just leave me alone, right? That's the truth. I know these people care, I really do, but it's an inside job. It's my job. And there's really not much more that can be said, really, except the sharing of love. And the questions. Maybe it's the questions that are important. It takes me back to my thought-provoking questions. But good questions and listening from a good friend is what helps me to see that side of life when I'm not as grateful as I feel like I should be or could be. It's the good questions that help me evaluate the circumstances of my life and help me to come back into balance when I've lost my equilibrium. I also believe if you settle for a spiritual one-liner, you're missing important context of life. We're missing that discussion of what happens between our head and our heart that has us as we act in the world. This marriage of thought and feelings, which connects us with other people, connects us with that place of empathy for each other's stories. So it's important that we tell our stories to each other, which doesn't always feel grateful, which doesn't always feel like when someone is telling their story that they're in a place of gratitude, but they may be. They may be. Just because our stories are difficult sometimes doesn't mean we're not grateful to be on the other side so that we can tell the story itself. As long as we don't continue to relive it, that it also allows for that meaningful dialogue with each other. And the important thing is that we need to listen to each other. And when you connect with all of this stuff that matters, with the heart and the head, what do we get away with? We come away with feeling pleasantly full, with feeling content, which is gratitude. We come away feeling gratitude when we listen and connect with our friends. So I've combined several articles and blogs. I've read a lot, and whenever I pick a topic that I feel like is a tired trope, like gratitude, I know, I start sounding cynical again, so I'm going to try to stay on the other side of that cynicism. But I combined several of them, and what I learned, I love when I pick a topic that I think is just one of those topics. And I love it when I learn something about myself, and I learn something new altogether. And so what we know is that we have benefits when we establish new neural pathways. And so when we establish patterns of gratitude in our life, these are the things that happen. So I narrowed this into 5 groups. We have emotional, health-related, social, professional, and personality benefits of gratitude. Health, wealth, relationships, and self-expression, really those 5 things go into the 4 spiritual pillars. But we've got 5. So today, we're going to look at what gratitude really does for us, how it really benefits us. So gratitude improves your emotional life. It makes us happier, obviously. Gratitude makes us feel good when we experience it. In addition, it also helps us notice what is already good in our life. So when we're feeling gratitude, we see other things more clearly that bring us joy. And so it reduces symptoms of depression because we're recognizing more joy in our life. And because it reduces symptoms of depression, then it increases our resilience. So resilience is our ability to bounce back from a negative circumstance. And so when we feel gratitude, we feel joy more easily, and we're more resilient. This is good. So we're able to see the bigger picture, and we're able to remember positive things instead of dwelling in the negative. I didn't know this one, that there is a positivity ratio. Did you all know that? A positivity ratio? That they encourage you to check yourself, time yourself when you're talking. Give yourself 15 or 30 minutes, and then listen to what you say. Have someone do a tick, negative, negative, positive, 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 and figure out your ratio. You should have a 3-to-1 ratio in any certain amount of time. Isn't that interesting? A 3-to-1. You can say 3 positive things for every 1 negative. That gave me hope. So people with a 3-to-1 ratio tend to flourish. And people below a 3-to-1 ratio tend to spiral downwards more quickly in their stories. And gratitude boosts our ratio by helping us experience more positive emotions like optimism, enthusiasm, love, joy, and happiness. And it reduces emotions of envy, greed, bitterness, and resentment. The ratio. It's pretty cool. I like that it can be so simply explained for this mind. So it improves, still in our emotional life, gratitude improves our self-esteem. Gratitude makes you aware of the good in people and the good in life. And so when we feel better about ourselves, we treat people better, which makes them happier, which makes them treat us better. I know that some of this just sounds like common sense, and it is, but when we say it, it's like, oh, it's the reciprocity of life that increases our self-esteem. And if we have a higher self-esteem, our level of self-efficacy goes up so that we have a greater sense of the ability to change our immediate environment, which in turn makes us happier and feel more grateful. So as well as your emotional health, gratitude improves your physical health. It improves your sleep patterns. Positive emotions like gratitude activate parasympathetic branches of your nervous system, which is also called simply the relaxation response. When we're grateful and we're happy, we're more relaxed. And if we're more relaxed, our blood pressure goes down, our heartbeat stabilizes, our bodies grow. Because when we're relaxed, we sleep well. And when we sleep well, as we know, that's when we heal. And so that's the process. So considering that, it's no surprise that gratitude has been shown to reduce the time required to fall asleep. It's increased sleep quality, and it increases the duration of sleep as well. Just being grateful. It improves your social life. This is a good one. It improves your social life. Being grateful makes you more understanding, compassionate, and helpful. When we feel gratitude, we feel closer and we're more connected to others. And we're more likely to help others and to relieve the suffering of another person. People like you better, and it improves your relationships just because you're happier and you're smiling at people. Gratitude improves friendships, romantic relationships, and demonstrating gratitude to friends and partners and family members makes them feel good, makes us feel good. We both treat each other well. It's that reciprocity again. Gratitude improves professional skills. It improves our decision making. I didn't know this. Just being grateful would improve my decision making. It increases goal achievement. I didn't know that either. And I knew this though. It builds our social capital. Gratitude promotes pro-social behaviors. And it results in more and better friendships. So we develop more social capital if we're grateful than our less grateful friends. In other words, gratitude helps you build a more substantive network. And it helps us create and increase productivity. Isn't this fascinating? Just was one little word that I'm so cynical about is all these things. It broadens our minds, increases our field of vision, expands. We see both more externally and internally. We're able to be more self-reflective in a positive way if we're grateful. So we come up with more ideas and we find more creative solutions to problems if we're a grateful person. And finally, gratitude molds your personality. The practice of gratitude shapes your character. It makes us more humble and less self-centered. Gratitude and humility go hand in hand. They are mutually reinforcing. Gratitude is about acknowledging others in their acts of kindness and their selflessness, resulting in a reduced self-focus. It makes us more kind and giving. Gratitude is known to promote pro-social behavior. The more grateful you are, the more likely you are, again, to help others. It increases your spiritualism. Just like humility and gratitude go hand in hand, gratefulness and spirituality also go hand in hand. The more you practice spiritual principles, the more likely you are to be grateful, and vice versa. Gratitude makes us more optimistic. It trains our minds to see the positive rather than the negative. And when we're looking into the future, the ability to see positive outcomes generates that level of self-efficacy that lets us feel that we can change our immediate environment. So the more grateful we are, the more optimistically we look toward the future. So here's the question. How do we do this, right? We know that it happens. We know these things. We've heard them many times. Gratitude is a very popular sermon to hear in our spiritual centers or talks. So cynicism and negative thinking is a habit in thought and speech. It's a habit. And in order to break the habit, we need to reframe our thought processes. and establish the new neural pathways, the new links, so that we move more easily and quickly to a more grateful process. And they say it takes 21 days to break a habit and create a new one to begin the process. And so today, this is your day. I am inviting you all to join me in looking on the upside of life for 21 days. Now, in all honesty, I did this last month. I did a version of this talk at Open Door Center for Spiritual Living and challenged people to a 21-day gratitude challenge. And in all honesty, I didn't fail, but but I wasn't as diligent as I would like to have been. And in all honesty, almost no one was, right? I had 15 people on that list, and when we talked that day that we checked in, and we checked in periodically, almost no one did it. And so something that told me something that we really wanted. My friend in Asheville is one of the few people I believe who really does practice gratitude every day. And so anyway, I'm going to ask you to join me. I'll establish an email list. Sign up here. If you want to share your email so that we have a little email group going back and forth, that's great. But these are what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do just the classic gratitude journaling 2 times a week, just a couple of days apart. So studies have shown that gratitude journaling improves people's health. It helps us sleep better. We heard all of that. Increases pro-social motivation, all of that. Give yourself 10 to 15 minutes. I'll send you the directions if you put your name on the list. There's no wrong way to journal. You just start writing and then you're done. It's quick. And then you want to keep it fresh. You want to be specific. You want to focus on surprises. You don't want to focus on the negative. Focus on the surprises. Focus on people. If I focus on Mimi's smile when I walk in the door, I find it easier to be kind of a little bit more relaxed and joyful. So focus on the intentions of people. When someone gives you or buys you a cup of coffee or goes out of their way to open the door for you, think about what it took them to do that. How much, they had to pay for the coffee out of their pocket. That's very cool. They had to step back out in order to hold the door open. That's very generous. Look at the intentions of what people do for you. Not only at what they do, but look at why they might be doing it at all. Really feel the emotions. So that's gratitude journaling. The other one, next one is the Wet Went Well exercise. It's 1 time a week. At the end of a certain day, because I have a calendar, which didn't have last month. So now this month I'm more organized. You'll get a calendar that tells you what to do. So the What Went Well is at bedtime on Wednesday. So this is going to help us all. And so the key to this is writing 3 things down right before you go to bed. And just focusing on those 3 things. What went well that week up until Wednesday. And then pretty quick and easy. And then we're going to write a gratitude letter. The gratitude letters are on Sunday when we have a lot more time. Sunday. And close your eyes. You're going to call to mind someone who is still alive, someone who did something or said something that changed your life for the better, someone you never properly thanked, someone you could meet face-to-face next week or call them on the phone, someone you may not have thought about or seen in a while. You're going to write a gratitude letter to someone who isn't always on your mind. You're going to address the person directly, say, hey, Mary, You're going to be concrete. What did this person do for you? How did it affect your life? And why are you grateful for them and what they did for you? Let the person know what you're doing now. Mention how often you remember what they did for you, how it helped motivate you in your life. Aim for approximately 250 or 300 words. It's probably 5 or 6 paragraphs. And then when you're finished, you're going to deliver the letter to them. 3 people in your life that you're grateful for. You can either mail it or call them and read it. You can take them to coffee or lunch and read it to them in person. But let them know that you're grateful for them. The 4th one is to look to the future. When we focus on how circumstances can end in positive ways, so we look to the future on Fridays. That Friday is a good day to look to the future because we're dealing with everything that happened throughout the whole week, and so we're like, oh no, now what? Well, look at some of the things that happened and think of what the positive outcomes could be, might be, instead of focusing on the struggle or the negative. So that's on Friday. And then twice, the 5th thing is to go for a savoring walk. They call it a savoring walk, where you go out and it's easy to do here. You just go out and you breathe the air and take a deep breath and you just savor and be so grateful for that water running out there and for the people here and the warmth that you can feel as you're sitting with the sun shining on you. Those things make you feel grateful. So you go out for 15, 20 minutes and just savor. Just be grateful for all that is around you. Don't do this as part of your regular exercise. This is different. These are 2 walks throughout the week where you're just focused on gratitude. Get lost in it. Don't take your phone with you either, by the way. So if you want to participate, sign up, and I'll mail this to you, these directions, plus the calendar. Can't go wrong. It's all free. That's something to be grateful for. And then I say get started today. Get started today. On Sunday, you write your gratitude letter tonight. As soon as I get home today, I'll mail this out. So the sign-up sheet's right there. There's a pen. Someone I admire recently, someone I admire, not just recently, before that I didn't admire her so much, but actually she recently said, yes, she said that basic acceptance, that a middle-of-the-road complacency is not growth. And when we just accept where we are and we just keep on going, that's not really growth. As a culture, we have come to view cynicism as a form of intellectual superiority. It is not. Cynicism is not intellectual superiority. I believe cynicism is based in fear and ignorance. We are not in a zero-sum game. Our gain in growth does not diminish someone else's. And our blessings do not create a loss for others. My progress with grateful living is an investment. When I am a participant, I learn quickly, and I learn more deeply. And I also learn that I must give in order to receive. Fear is not a game plan. Courage to step up, to be an active participant for change is about the future. And always remember, we are, each one of us, a point in divine consciousness. Each one of us is a point in divine consciousness. All of our feelings are emotional contagions. So gratitude, cynicism, anger, love, all are emotional contagions. We can choose which we want to share. And how we affect others through those feelings in our daily activities. We are the lightning rods of change in our world, each one of us through that point of divine consciousness. Mark Nepo, in his book, Finding Inner Courage, states this: "The aim is not to make ourselves pure or one-sided in our aliveness, but it is to inhabit all of who we are, living into the dilations and constrictions of our strengths and our weaknesses. It is about learning how to live through being human until the rhythm of being human can be celebrated as the magically imperfect vessel of spirit that it is. I love that. Magically imperfect vessel of spirit. We are perfect, and we are an imperfect vessel of spirit. I like that. It makes me feel grateful that I have the ability to make mistakes. You know, I think that's a good thing, to recognize that that's okay. This is what he says that's important. Though they can be dangerous and life-draining patterns of our life, if kept meaningful, are incubators of spirit. Isn't that beautiful? So when we change the patterns of our life, when we create new neural pathways, when we break those old habits of cynicism and replace it with gratitude, we are incubators of spirit. So say this with me. We're going to say this 3 times. I am a center of divine mind.
I am the center of divine mind.
That which I declare must manifest.
That which I declare must manifest.
Okay, let's say it again. I am a center of divine mind.
I am the center of divine mind.
That which I declare must manifest.
That which I declare must manifest.
And one more time. I am a center of divine mind.
I am the center of divine mind.
That which I declare must manifest.
That which I declare must manifest.
Yes, 3 is the magic number, and 3 times 7 is 21, and that takes us back to our gratitude challenge. So sign up for it. Be the change you want to see in the world, and thank you so much.
Thank you.